This is Landon. He made $304,000 in 30 days selling a smart amp. And the even crazier part, he didn't even have any inventory. I sat down with him to understand how he did it and learn the launch strategy that made him $137,000 in one day.
I feel fantastic. We did $304,000, which is absolutely insane.
When he started, Landon was just a 19-year-old electrical engineering student, and his first product launch was actually a failure, but he kept at it, and 6 years later, he now has 2 successful products under his belt, with Nimbus being the biggest one yet. In this video, he breaks down 1, how to recover from a failed launch, and 6 extra results. 2, the exact pre-launch strategy that got him over 10,000 leads. And 3, the one piece of advice that he recommends to every entrepreneur.
This is gonna sound somewhat like boilerplate, high level, but it's not, I promise.
I'll also be giving a free audiobook copy of my best-selling book, Crowdfunded, that goes even deeper into a lot of these strategies, but more on that later. I'm Mark from LaunchBoom. Let's get into it. Before making over $300,000 on Kickstarter, Landon's story started as a complete accident 6 years ago.
My brother, he's 3 years younger than me, and he's an absolute killer on the guitar. He actually got the first guitar pedal that either of us had ever messed around with when he was like 15. And it was this distortion pedal, the same one that Kurt Cobain used to get that classic distortion sound from the 90s. And it was the coolest thing ever.
As an engineering student, Landon did what any curious person would do. He opened it up to figure out how it worked. But he realized that to get all the different guitar sounds, you either needed to spend $1,000 on individual pedals or buy a massive briefcase-sized system with 16 switches. For a college student, neither option was realistic.
It really was just like a side project. Wouldn't it be cool if there was a pedal that could get you all of the different sounds? There are thousands and thousands of pedals by awesome builders out there. But as a college student, it gets pretty pricey.
What started as a learning project to mess around with Android app development and embedded hardware turned into something bigger when Landon met Steve Milloway, the owner of a local startup incubator whose company had actually invented USB 2.0. Steve offered to invest a small amount in exchange for equity, and KS Audio was born. But Landon's first attempt at crowdfunding, that's where the real lessons began. So Landon has this product, Stratus, an all-in-one guitar pedal. He's got backing from an investor, and like most first-time entrepreneurs, he made the wrong assumption about Kickstarter.
We had no idea that there was a science to launching these crowdfunding campaigns. We kind of just assumed that all these other companies that were doing really well were just making a campaign, clicking the launch button, and then waiting for people to show up and buy their stuff. That didn't happen.
This was November 2021. Landon set his goal at $25,000. 2 days before the campaign was supposed to end, they were sitting at only $19,000. But then he talked to Kevin on my team.
One of my colleagues got in touch with Kevin, and I believe Kevin was actually the one that recommended, hey, you should probably go ahead and just cancel this campaign because there is a way to do this the right way.
Let's pause here because this is a critical decision point. They had $19,000 in pledges. They only needed $6,000 more to hit their goal. Most people would push through, maybe email friends and family and try to scrape together those last few $1,000s. But Landon made the harder choice. He canceled the campaign. Why? Because he realized something important. Hitting a barely met goal isn't the same as having a successful launch. A weak campaign creates momentum problems for everything that comes after. So instead of limping across the finish line, Landon decided to learn the actual science behind crowdfunding launches.
It was such a weird experience. We're like, dang, man, we were really hoping this would go well. It's disappointing, but we just set our sights on the next attempt.
And this is where everything changed. Between that failed November 2021 campaign and their successful relaunch in 2022, Landon didn't just fix the marketing. He improved the actual product based on feedback, and that failure bought them time to make Stratus better. Okay, so failed campaign behind them, product improved, now comes the relaunch. But here's what I wanted to know. What was actually different the second time around?
It was absolutely doing some pre-launch marketing. That made a huge difference. I think we only got 170 VIP reservations on the second campaign before we launched, but that was enough to hit 10,000 in the first day.
Let's break down what that actually means. A pre-launch list isn't just email addresses. It's qualified leads, or what we call VIPs, who are people who've actually put down a deposit, usually $1 to $5, to show that they're serious about buying when you launch. This isn't a newsletter sign up, this is putting money down. For the Stratus relaunch, that allowed them to make over $10,000 in one day, and the rest of the money came from Kickstarter's audience and more ads.
I remember the ads during the campaign for Stratus actually worked pretty well.
Pretty well is downplaying it a bit because they were a major driving force in getting this second launch to $133,000, 6 times more than his first failed launch. But here's where it gets even better. So 4 years after that first failure, Landon launched Nimbus. This time he had more experience and he worked with my team at LaunchBoom.
I'm really happy that I decided to actually work with LaunchBoom. I'm not just hyping you guys up.
This time he was able to use our software launch kit to build his reservation funnel and work with my team to guide him through the pre-launch process. And before he pressed the launch button, here's what his pre-launch metrics look like.
Generated about 10,800 total leads, with 1,719 of them, I think, being reservation holders before we launched on Kickstarter.
And those 1,700 reservation holders converted at a super high rate.
My calculation was 25%, but we can confidently say anywhere from 20 to 25%.
That's why when he launched, he made more in one day than in his entire previous campaign, making $137,000 in pre-sale revenue. Landon didn't just build a better funnel, he became a better marketer.
In the past, I wasn't actually testing. I thought I was, but I was not building out a spreadsheet with different headlines and like labeling these ads and these ad sets with, you know, this ad set is using this specific creative with this hook and this set of copy. For 7 days, we're gonna look at results.
He learned to treat ad spend like research.
What I liked is that there was a set number going into it. You should expect to spend $1,500. Now I have a number in my head where I'm like, okay, am I comfortable doing that? Yes. And then it kind of removes the feeling of like having to constantly micromanage.
And when it came to creatives, he leaned hard on UGC, or user-generated content that looked native to social media.
Definitely UGC, vertical style, Reels format videos. Static images perform better when we're generating leads, but for the most part, the UGC ads that we're running, those vertical reels, have always performed better when it comes to actual conversions.
The takeaway? You don't need fancy production, you need authentic creators and clear hooks. So we've covered the tactics, pre-launch list, pricing, content strategy, but let's zoom out for a minute. What's the actual mindset that made this work? Because you can have all the right tactics and still fail if you're thinking about it wrong. Here's what Landon believes about ideas versus execution.
Your idea is pointless. It doesn't have any value. The thing that has value is your execution. Like, you have to be able to execute on it, and you can't execute without the help that you can get from other people.
Let that sink in. Your idea is pointless. That's kind of harsh, but it's true. Everyone has ideas. What separates successful founders from wannabes isn't the idea, it's whether they can actually bring it to life. And here's what Landon says about the fear of sharing your idea.
There are so many people that are scared to tell other people about their ideas, either because they are going to think that they think it's dumb, or they're going to think that somebody's going to steal their idea. Like, there are so many people out there that are not like in the scarcity mindset, they're in the abundance mindset. And they are absolutely more than happy to help you because they want to see you succeed.
This is the opposite of what most first-time founders do. They guard their idea like it's a state secret. They make people sign NDAs. They won't tell anyone what they're working on until it's perfect. But Landon took the opposite approach. He emailed strangers. He reached out to companies he admired like Peak Design. And you know what happened?
I emailed Peak Design actually. Before we launched Stratus on Kickstarter, they were the nicest team ever. They gave me an essay-long response back, and they were like, oh, really interesting to see that that's where you're at. Here are the things that we focus on.
Peak Design, a company that's raised tens of millions of dollars on Kickstarter, took time to write a detailed response to a 19-year-old stranger with a guitar pedal idea. Why? Because successful people want to help other people succeed, but you have to ask. You have to put yourself out there. And this happened to Landon again and again. The more people he talked to, the more doors opened. The more advice he got, the better his product became. So whether you're launching your first product or your fifth, the principles are the same. Build your list before you launch, give people a reason to care, show them what makes your product different, and never stop talking to your customers. Remember that free audiobook copy of Crowdfunded I mentioned? Well, you can grab yours by following the link below. Also, if you got any value from this video, please click the like button and subscribe for more stuff like this. All right, guys, thanks for watching. I'll see you in the next one.